Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you are having an awesome week so far. Welcome Noob, Ibrahim, Lisa. Good to see students. Hi Anna. Good to see our members. Carolina, welcome to our chat moderator. Everybody, this is an IELTS speaking class, and the focus of part 2 and 3 will be a memorable childhood place. This lesson, as usual, is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, please visit us there. For the general IELTS, please visit us at gieltshelp.com. Our premium membership is a one-time payment for lifetime access. Go to these websites, this one here. This is our academic IELTS website with the blue background. Click this big red button right over there. Again, it's a one-time payment. We're an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center, and we help thousands of students every single month. For those of you who are premium members, you have 2 extra live classes like this each week through Zoom, one tomorrow and one on Friday, so Thursdays and Fridays. For general IELTS students, it's the same. It's gieltshelp.com with the green background. Again, just click that button and enter the code BOOST9 for an additional 10% discount. Premium students, make sure you attend tomorrow. Your class is on time. And for those of you who are thinking about it, you can check out this link to get an idea of what these classes are like. We'll do a bit of a Zoom session today for today's speaking class as well, so you will have a chance to speak. I will ask you some IELTS speaking questions. You can give me answers, and I will give you a band score estimate with some feedback on how to improve. We will cover some strategies on how to increase those band scores. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. The apps will link to the websites so that you can learn from your mobile phone as well. If you have any questions, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Tomorrow, premium members, it's a reading class and then a speaking class on Friday. Students, check out this YouTube video for some more speaking practice when you have some time. Hi, Tsegareta, Sultan, Komal. Nice to see so many students in the class. All right, everybody, let's get right into it. I'll make the text a little bit bigger here for us. Fill that screen for you. IELTS speaking, for those of you who are new, it's a 12 to 15-minute interview. It's either in person, face-to-face, which is still the most common, or through the computer. There is a home-based computer version. It's the least popular, but it is a good choice for those of you who live in remote areas where it's available. The speaking section is done separately from the listening, reading, writing, and make sure that you show up early. Okay, you have to be there 20 minutes before to register, but I recommend going there at least about 40 minutes to an hour before the speaking starts, so that you have time to get familiar with your surroundings, get comfortable, switch to English. Students, it is so important. This is probably the biggest and most important tip that I can give you for your upcoming speaking test. Switch to English at least 40 minutes before the test. Okay, super, super important. That can easily save you a full band score. Okay. All right, Komal. Komal's asking, sir, how can we answer on the first part of speaking? By being yourself, by being professional, by getting ready for the exam. And that's exactly why you're here, and that's what we're going to do. So I will get right into it, and we'll get going on the speaking. So when you show up to your exam and the examiner calls you in, They will greet you. They will say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. We are conducting the exam in Toronto. The time right now is 14 o'clock. This is candidate number 92317768, examiner number 73248, and exam center YQ973. I'm recording this for clerical and marking purposes. Let's begin. May I see your identification? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one, students. Again, this is a proficiency test. It's not an English as a second language exam. Don't keep your answers too short. Don't just say, yeah, sure. It's a little bit informal for this kind of situation. So for this question, you should answer something like this: gladly. Here is my ID that I used to register a few weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials. Okay. So that would be a nice, a full sentence, professional answer that tells the examiner that you prepared, that you're there to mean business, and you're going to present your best English. Okay, they're not English teachers. They're not going to try to get you to speak. They're just there to ask you questions and grade your proficiency. All right. Anna from the chat, one of our longtime members, has this answer for us. Yes, gladly. This is my passport, which I have used for registration. Please have a look at my credentials. Good. Yeah, these are all slightly different answers, but very good and show professional language use. Okay. Alexander, somewhat similar as well, says, gladly, here's my passport, which I used to register a few weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials. Good. Okay. Travel with Nelson, no. Good question. Travel with Nelson is asking, do I need to show my ID for video call? I believe if you're doing the home-based version, yes, but if you're actually in the exam center, then no, is the answer. Okay, Eugen, good to see you. Thank you for those emojis. Okay, Han says, yes, certainly. Here's my passport that I have used to register for this test. Please take a look at my credentials. Very good. So a lot of you are realizing, okay, this test isn't just a casual chit-chat. It's a professional conversation. I need to show my best English for those high band scores like 7, 8, 9. Great. The next question always, while they're looking at your ID, is what is your full name? So again, clear professional answer. Okay, this is a formal introduction. It's not an informal introduction. It's a formal introduction. You'll see the examiners usually wearing a suit and a tie or a dress or a ladies' suit, so they're dressed professionally. It's a professional interview. So what is your full name? My first name is Thomas, and my surname is McKinley. Please just call me Tom. Okay? So again, you don't have to speak too much, but just give them the same name that's in your ID and then tell them what you want to be called. That's what they want to hear. Okay, just like Kamal here in the chat. Okay, now students, this is speaking, so take a moment to repeat and copy what I say, copy how I say it. I speak with a clear West Coast North American accent. So Kamal says, my name is Kamal Prasad Pokhrel. You can call me as Kamal. Okay, a little bit better here would be please call me, not as, please call me Kamal. Okay, it's a little bit more polite. It's a request this way, Kamal. And of course, always make sure to use capitals for your names. All right, even if you're typing quickly. Self-respect. Okay, so there we go. All right, that looks good. Rifat says, my given name is Rifat and my surname is Abdul. Please call me by my given name, Rifat. Perfect. And then they'll ask you a question to get you to feel a little bit comfortable. Also, they're starting to get a feel for how fluent you are, how much you prepared for the exam. So they're starting to formulate their ideas, the examiners, around your band score. So they might ask you a question like, what is your hobby? Okay. And then again, you want to give a nice full sentence answer for this one. So use the question, like, in my leisure time or my leisure activities include sports, reading books, and watching movies. It really depends on my energy level. On Saturday, I had lots of energy to burn, so I went to the gym for a 2-hour workout. Okay, so that would be a nice, natural, kind of fluent, detailed answer where you're not over speaking, you're not under speaking, and you're really showing your range of English ability. Okay, so again, just repeat after me. What is your hobby? My leisure activities include sports, reading books, watching movies. It really depends on my energy level. On Saturday, I had lots of energy to burn, so I went to the gym for a 2-hour workout. Okay. That nice example at the end, students, really helps to boost your mark, boost your fluency, and your coherence, of course. That's why all of those are being boosted. Okay. Irfana Ilyas says, during my free time, I love to cook. Usually I try to prepare a variety of dishes, which depends on my mood. I would love to see an example here, Irfana. If I'm your examiner, I'd be like, okay, like what? I was really cheery on the weekend, so I decided to bake myself and my friends a triple chocolate cake. Okay, so that would be a nice example to kind of throw in at the end there. Okay, so in my free time, I love to cook. I usually try to prepare a variety of dishes, which depends on my mood. I was really cheery on the weekend, so I decided to bake myself and my friends a triple chocolate cake. All right, good. Irfana, that's exactly what you want to be thinking. Okay. Now, when that is done, those little introductory icebreakers, then the examiner will introduce the topic of part one. And part one topic is usually about you. So you have to think I, me, my, myself. You're thinking about yourself usually for part one. It's often on one kind of popular topic like books, movies, hobbies, colors, numbers, or in this case, let's talk about clothes. Sometimes it's a couple, like they'll combine a few, like let's talk about numbers, let's talk about colors, let's talk about food. But often it's kind of focusing on one of these. So they kind of switch it up depending. If they feel like you really memorized answers for one topic, then they tend to choose a couple of different topics to help you to produce natural language. They're really interested in natural language. They don't want to hear like pre-memorized answers. Okay, they don't like that. They don't like templates. Okay, unfortunately, those will often lead to mediocre scores, even with good English. Mediocre means like around band 6, 6, 5. Okay, so here they'll ask a question something like, okay, let's talk about clothes. How often do you wear a jacket? Okay, give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Now again, students, I keep saying this, but remember when you're talking about frequency and throughout the IELTS, think qualitative. Okay, like for example, often, you live in a cold place, and then think quantitative. It's a very important skill for clear communication. So for quantitative, it would be like, let's say 8 months of the year. Okay, So think about both of those. So when you get a question like how often do you wear a jacket, you might answer something like this. I frequently wear a jacket, whether it's a light windbreaker or a heavier winter coat. I wear a jacket for about 7 months of the year, as I live in a chilly part of the world here in Western Canada. Okay, so notice how I have that qualitative frequently, okay, and then I have that quantitative 7 months of the year. And it's these kinds of strategies that you really learn through the course. Premium students, definitely when you're in your My Student account, go through your full online academic course. So for instance, when you're doing speaking, go through the speaking section lessons to learn these strategies that I'm teaching you, or at least refresh them from these classes. And then when you've covered those, then sorry, going back to your course content, look at the lesson videos as well. So look through your lesson videos and then find a few that relate to the lesson topic, go through them, and then after you've done that, you can do like a speaking test, okay? And you can actually book a speaking test with me with this yellow button here as well. All right, so that's a good way to structure your learning. Okay, strategy, practice, test, feedback. Strategy, practice, test, feedback. Okay, that's what you should do. All right. Travel with Nelson. Love the handle. Travel with Nelson for this question of how often do you wear a jacket says, I rarely wear jackets. This is because the town that I'm residing in now is sunny most of the year. However, whenever I visit my birth town, I do frequently. Don't put this kind of contradiction into your response, Nelson, because they don't like that. It's like you're going off topic or you're derailing the question. So you really want to focus on this one. Like, I rarely wear jackets. This is because the town that I'm residing in now is sunny most of the year. Sunny doesn't mean warm, right? Keep that in mind. So there are a lot of places in Canada that are really sunny. In fact, some of the coldest places are really sunny. So sunny is very subjective here. So I would say is sunny most of the year and around 30 degrees. So I only wear a jacket in the winter months for a couple of weeks. Okay, so again, add that quantitative language in there, and that's way better. That's going to get you more band scores. It's more coherent. Okay, makes sense, everybody? So far, so good? Yeah. So then the examiner will continue with some more questions around clothes, like where do you like going shopping for clothes? What do you wear to work? What do you wear if it's hot outside or cold outside? Do you have any sports clothing? And has your clothing style changed in the last 10 years? So they ask you like these kinds of questions. And we're going to practice these in just a little bit through Zoom. When they get to the end of part 1, they will say, now let's continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you a card with some questions on it. You will have 1 minute to read these questions. Think about your answers. Take notes in this 1 minute time if you wish. You have some note paper and your pencil there. And then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Is that clear? And then you say, yes, it is. And then they'll say, talk about a place you went to often as a child. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay. All right. And then your 1 minute begins and it's 60 seconds. It seems like a short time, but it is lots of time as long as you use it well, you stay calm, and you know what you're doing. Okay, so I already see some answers like Anna's saying at church, for example. Now, the first step, so this is Mohammed Hussein Farhod. He says, what should we do in the notes for the 2 minutes? Okay, well, first of all, again, you learn this in your premium course, everybody. You realize that this is a place, okay? So in the IELTS, your Part 2 cue card will usually focus on either a person, like talk about your best friend, a place, like this one, talk about a childhood place you went to often, an event, like talk about an exciting event that happened, right? An idea, discuss an idea that you had to improve your learning, for example. And then the fifth one is an object. So talk about a gift you received in the last year, for example. Okay. Now each of those 5, so person, place, event, idea, object, has kind of like a structure, its own unique set of information or pieces of information. Okay. When you talk about a place, everybody, you should include its appearance. So what does that place look like, right? I went to a swimming pool near my home as a child, and it was quite a large swimming pool. It had 50-meter lanes, a kids pool, a hot tub, sauna, steam room, situated on a couple hectares of parkland. It was a 2-story building. Since then it's been demolished and a new pool has been built in its place. I remember the outside was kind of this green color and the inside was painted this friendly blue color. Okay, that's it. So you describe what it looks like. Now everybody can kind of see that place in their head. Okay. And then you, of course, describe its location. So where it is, where can people find it? You describe the attendees, like who goes there, right? Who are the people? And then the activities. So I took swimming lessons in that swimming pool for the first few years of my life, and on the weekends I enjoyed it with my friends. It had a big water slide, so after we were done splashing in the water, we would go down the slide 5-6 times before warming up in the hot tub, right? So you talk about the activities that happen there, and then your experience, okay? So it's a great memory of my childhood. I'm so happy to have had this great swimming pool close to my home that I could enjoy with my friends and also learn valuable skills for later in life. I'm confident now in the water whenever I go to the beach or swimming anywhere else in the world. Right, so the experience, okay? And then a very important step here, students, is think about at least a couple different places. So think about 2 to 3 possible answers before you choose. Okay, it's very important. Some people will just go, oh, swimming pool, and then they'll talk about it. And then they realize they're missing a lot of vocabulary around swimming. So that's not good. Think about a few places. I went to a swimming pool, a playground, and a park near my home, right? So which one is the best one? Okay, think about that, all right? And then in your notes, you can basically jot down just 1 or 2 word information around these that help you to speak more. Okay, don't write down a lot of information that you already know, like don't write down swimming pool, okay? But write down blue wall. Like if the swimming pool had blue walls, write down blue wall. Then when you're describing it, the appearance, you can say it had these interesting kind of friendly blue walls. It was a baby blue color, okay? So write down a couple, and then when you have your notes, okay, always write your first sentence. At least think of your first sentence. So a place I frequented as a child from about 3 to 12 years old was the Crystal Pool Recreation Center near my home. Okay, so have that first sentence ready, so when the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, you can start speaking very quickly. Okay. All right. Okay, and thank you, Carolina, for that answer. Because Mohammed is asking, can we choose all of them like pool park? No, because you always have to pay attention to the card. It's talk about a place meaning one place. Okay, if you talk about more than one place, you're losing marks because you're going off topic and you're not being coherent to the question. Okay. All right, so students, that's how you do it. Now plan that part 2, and we'll get going on some speaking practice right away through YouTube and Zoom. So stay here on YouTube, and I will also give you the Zoom link to join, and I'll start that Zoom session so you're not waiting. Let me do that. And then we'll actually practice these questions. And again, listen, repeat, practice with your peers, okay? My video will continue to remain here in YouTube, but you can use your video in Zoom if you'd like. Here is the link in the chat. Students, pay attention to the reaction button. You can raise your hand. You'll see a little hand come up like that. Okay, you can lower your hand if you want. All right, let me get my headphones on so I'll be able to hear you, and we'll just give everybody a chance to join up. We've already got a few different people, which is good. Yash, if you take more time in the cue card and you don't start right away when the examiner says your 1 minute preparation time is up, that will hurt your fluency mark. Okay, the examiners really like to hear candidates start right away when that 1 minute is up. So when the examiner says your 1 minute is up, please begin speaking. They find it very awkward when somebody's still kind of like taking an extra 20 seconds, and that's coming out of your 2 minutes. And those who get the higher scores, they speak for that 90 seconds to 2 minutes fluently. Okay, so you don't want to be stalling when they start you. You want to start right away. Okay, so Yash, it's not a good idea to take more time than the 1 minute on your cue card. That will eventually lower your score if you're pausing there for like 10, 20 more seconds. Okay. All right, let's find our first volunteer here, everybody. Okay. I definitely encourage everybody to volunteer. So again, just raise your hand there. Okay, I can see people in the chat here as well. Eltayeb, why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself, please? If you can hear me, Eltayeb.
Hi.
Hi.
I hear you.
How are you, Eltayeb?
I'm fine. How have you been?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. All right, Eltayeb, can you just tell everybody where you are and why you are taking the IELTS?
Well, I'm residing in the UAE. I'm not even in university. I'm a secondary school student. I'm trying to take the IELTS right after I finish my secondary school, the 12th class.
12th grade.
Grade, yeah.
Yeah, class is actually like the lessons that you're attending, so 12th grade. And then what do you want to do after? So you graduate, you'll take the IELTS. I think you'll do okay for sure. You get a good IELTS score. What's your next step?
Yeah, hopefully.
And then what will you do after?
Maybe I will make an application for a university.
Okay. All right. It's good. It's good that you're not rushing. It sounds like you've kind of got it planned out, but you're not rushing into any majors. Okay. Well, let's do the speaking here. So, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. We're conducting the exam in Abu Dhabi. The time right now is 14 o'clock. Let's begin. May I see your identification?
Yeah, certainly. Here is my identification that I used to register with.
What is your full name?
Well, my full name is Eltayeb Muhammad, but you can simply call me Eltayeb.
Okay, Eltayeb. For part one, I will ask you some questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What is your hobby?
Well, I have quite a lot of hobbies, but I think reading is the most enjoyable one for me, as I tend to read a lot of books. Yesterday, I have read a very famous book, which is, I think, um, its name is Malcolm Gladwell.
Let's talk about clothes. How often do you wear a jacket?
Well, since I'm living in a relatively cold country, I tend to frequently wear jackets, especially in the winter, where everything actually starts to get more colder, cooler.
Where do you like shopping for clothes?
Well, I think regular shops is the best way to buy a buy any type of clothes, especially jackets and some some clothes. Yeah.
What do you wear to school?
Come again?
What do you wear to school?
Oh, and to school, I used to wear a white immaculate dress, as uh, is the traditional custom here in the UAE.
Okay, just give me a second. All right. Good. Okay, so far so good. I would say your band score for these answers, Eltayeb, is maybe a 7. It's good English so far. It's starting to decrease a little bit as we go along. So we're leaning towards a 6.5, so between fluent and good. There's just a couple of slightly awkward phrasings and a little bit of a lack of fluency as we get further and further with the questions. Just be really careful of a couple of points here to improve. So when you're practicing, when you say a word like well to start almost every sentence, you want to change that. Okay, so don't start every response with well. It starts to kind of become awkward, and there's no way that an examiner will say that's very good English or expert English. Even native speakers do it. So some native speakers will have this strong kind of dictive style where they'll say well, but that will not be good or very good or expert English. Okay, so you have to change that a little bit. Instead of saying well, just start with paraphrase of the question. So when the question is like, what do you wear to school? Start right away with, whenever I get dressed for high school, I put on a traditional white dress or gown. It's almost like a uniform that students here in the UAE wear. Okay, so that's what you would want to do. Start like that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
I thought it was hot in the UAE.
yeah, but it's currently I think it's winter here.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know the climate there exactly, so I don't know when. It would probably always be warm for me. Here in Canada, it's a bit colder. All right. When the questions are about you, and this is everybody, pay attention. So I'm not just saying this to Eltayeb, I'm saying this to everyone. Okay. So when the question is, where do you like shopping for clothes? Saying I think regular shops is the best, it's kind of awkward. It's like, first of all, what's a regular shop? Like, do you mean a clothing store? or a department store, those are different, right? So I don't know what you mean by regular shop. You have to be a little bit clearer there. And then why did you say that? My guess is because some people are buying clothes online, but then they realize the quality is bad or the size is wrong. So still, these physical brick and mortar shops are the best to get the right quality and the right size of clothing. But I have to guess that, and the examiners don't like guessing information. They don't like filling in information. They want the candidate to give that piece of information. So like saying, I like buying my clothes at the department store. I find it's better than online. I can try on the clothes, make sure they fit well and they're the right quality. I bought a beautiful winter jacket just this season, right? So I'm connecting to what I said before. So that's, you want to focus on that clarity. Okay, Eltayeb?
Okay, I'll do.
Okay, try this question one more time. This, where do you like shopping for clothes? Because I feel that was one of your weakest answers. Okay, so try it one more time. Talk about where you like shopping for clothes. Be more specific with the place, and then give an example. Okay, so where do you like shopping for clothes?
I like shopping for clothes in shops nearby my house, as they are fairly the best places where I can buy some jackets, and they are quite affordable. I will not haggle over the price anymore.
Give me an example.
Yesterday I was go I went to buy a jacket and I found it really cheap and bought it effortlessly.
Okay, great. Okay, that was really, really good. Yeah, much better, much clearer, much more precise to the question. That will get you a band 8 instead of a 6.5 or a 7. Okay, there's just a lot more clarity
I
and
was
detail
so
there.
anxious at first.
Yeah, and and that's totally normal. That happens, right? That's why I keep telling everybody, show up to your exam early, 40 minutes, 1 hour before. Talk to other people, practice some of these part one questions with some other random candidate that's waiting there. It's a really good way to get rid of that nervousness and prepare for the real test that's coming up. Okay.
Yeah, even when I raised my hand, I thought that you're gonna choose me at maybe the third one, so I can, yeah, prepare myself. But surprisingly, you chose me the first one.
That's right. You never know, right? I'm not that predictable. It would be boring if I were that predictable. All right. Thank you so much, Eltayeb, for being my first volunteer.
Thanks for the opportunity, though.
Okay, everyone, give Eltayeb a big thumbs up. That was really good. Let's take somebody else here. Let's get Sundeep to unmute. Sundeep, are you there?
Good evening, sir. I'm very good. How
Hi,
are you doing?
Sundeep. How are you?
I'm good. What's about you?
I'm also good. Sundeep, where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Jajjal, Haryana. It is in the national capital region in New Delhi.
In New Delhi. Okay, cool, cool. Right on. Well, welcome. Let's try a few of these questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about clothes. What do you wear if it is hot outside?
Sorry, sir.
What do you wear if it is hot outside?
If there is hot outside, I generally wear t-shirts, lowers, jeans, and some shirts.
Do you have any sports clothing?
Yes, I generally wear tracksuits while running and going for cycling.
Has your clothing style changed in the last 10 years?
I don't remember that much. I'm 16, turning to 17 next month.
That is the end of part one. We will now continue with part two. For this part, I will show you a card with some questions on it. Okay, and we'll stop there, and I'm going to give you some feedback. Okay. Um,
Yes, sir.
okay. So so far your band score is about I would say 5.5, and I think you should get a higher score, like you should get at least 6 or 6.5, but you have to be more fluent for that. Okay, your answers are too short even for part 1. Sometimes for part 1 some people will say, you know, keep your answers short. Yes, but not that short. That's too short. If you're going through part 1 in just 2 minutes or 3 minutes because the answers are so short, then that's definitely having a negative effect on your fluency. Okay. So
Yes,
here,
sir.
this question: has your clothing style changed in the last 10 years? And you said, I don't remember that. I'm 16, turning 17 next month. In the mind of the examiner, they're kind of like, okay, so you don't remember the last 10 years of your life? So be very careful, because this is the last 10 years. This means from the age of 6 to 16. I you should remember that, so I think you remember, you know, your life from age 6 to 16. And it definitely, I'm sure your clothing style has changed, because for most people when they're 6 years old they wear very different clothing than when they're 16 years old, right?
Yes.
So a much more accurate answer in this case would be something like, yes, my style of clothes have changed drastically since my early childhood into my teenage years. When I was 6, I used to wear clothes with cartoon characters on it. Like Mickey Mouse. But now I wear more fashionable clothes with brand names like Nike, let's say, for example. Okay, so that would be a much more accurate answer, right? So when you say I don't remember that I'm 16 turning 17, I'd be like, I don't think he understood that question, and it's not very fluent. So you have to be really careful about what the question is, and then really make sure that you're fluent. Say at least a couple of sentences, especially for the last 1 or 2 questions of part 1. They're usually like a conditional or a present perfect. Okay. Can you
Yes.
try this again? So has your clothing style changed in the last 10 years? If yes, how?
Yes, my clothing style has changed for last 10 years. In my early when I was 6 years old, I used to wear cartoon styled clothing clothes.
But
They had
now?
now I wear a more formal clothes like school dress, pants, jackets,
Very good.
which looks good.
Yeah, very good. Much better. Much better. Much better. Okay, that's what I want you to practice at home, because that's what you need to focus on, is saying sentences like that when you're in the exam. Okay, and
Yes,
then you'll do better. All right, Sundeep, great. I'm glad I was able to help you there a little bit. Thank you so much for volunteering.
I'm also thankful to you for giving me a chance.
Absolutely, you're very welcome. Come back again. Thanks, Sundeep.
Okay, sir.
All right. Again, lots of volunteers here today. That's looking fantastic, everybody. Just keep in mind, students, that if you're a premium member on our website, you get 2 Zoom classes each week, tomorrow and on Friday. So lots more chances to volunteer as opposed to these classes. We'll take a few more students here. Don't go anywhere yet. Okay. We'll get somebody in for part 2 here. Supergirl iPhone, can you unmute yourself, please? If you're there, Supergirl. One of my favorite DC characters is Supergirl. Supergirl, are you there? Thanks for the thumbs up in the chat, everybody. There's Sundeep. That was great.
Hello.
Hi, Supergirl. How are you?
Very fine, and you?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty good. Are you okay with me calling you Supergirl, or do you want to go with a different name?
No, okay, fine.
Supergirl is good. Okay, well, where does Supergirl live?
I live in Nigeria, Lagos to be precise.
Lagos. Okay, in Nigeria. Nice. All right. Okay, well, let's get into a little bit of the speaking here. So I think you've been following the class. We're getting into part 2. Did you have a chance to prepare your answer for part 2?
Not really, but I'll try.
Okay, so this one here, the topic is talk about a place you went to often as a child. I'll start you off. Give me a 1 to 2 minute answer, and then I'll give you some feedback, okay?
All right.
Okay. So, talk about a place you went to often as a child. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay. Can I speak now?
Yeah?
Okay. As a child, I went to my uncle's place at Lagos Island, to be precise. It's very close to the beach, and we went out to the beach, and the kids were there also. And the name of the beach is Labadi Beach. It's very close to Ogombo, to be precise, and it was fun. We saw We're like 5 people. My uncle, his 2 kids, and me. We're just 5, and we really had fun. It was really fun, and I would love to go there again and again.
Okay. Your time is up. I will stop you there. Now we will go on to part 3. All right. So that part 2 would get you about a band 5 because it's brief and it's a bit confusing. I can tell that you have pretty decent English, but you need to show me that English much, much more, okay? So the examiners can only mark what they hear. They can't mark what they think. So even though I would think that your English is a bit better, it's more fluent. And of course, it's not just part 2. They would mark you on part 3 and 1 as well. But they can only mark you on what you're telling or what you're saying, okay? So you're talking about your uncle's place in Lagos Island near the beach, right?
Yes.
Okay. Remember what I said kind of earlier in the class about talking about places, how you want to talk about the appearance, you want to talk about the location, the people who are there, the activities, that's a very important one, that happen there, and then your experience. Think about it in a little bit more detail. So like your uncle's place, what was it? A house, an apartment? Did it have a yard? What did it look like? 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms? Do you remember?
It's a 3-bedroom apartment.
3-bedroom apartment near the beach. Okay, much better. So just those kinds of details can really help to boost your score. Okay, you said the activities. So, okay, when you visited there, you played with your cousins. You went to the beach. What kind of activities did you do? What did you do on the beach?
We played volleyball at the beach.
Okay.
And
So
we
you
played with the water also.
Okay, did you swim?
No, not really. My uncle is scared of swimming, so like
Okay,
we
so
just close to the water and we rush back.
Okay, so you're running in and out of the water, splashing in the waves. You played
Yes.
some beach volleyball. What did you do in
Yes.
the house? Did you do any kind of games in the house? Did you have some big family dinners with your uncle and your cousins?
Okay, my uncle's wife is a caterer, and I know how to bake also. So we baked cake.
Okay, great. So it's that kind of information that you want to put together during that 1 minute note taking time. You want to write down those activities like bake a cake, beach volleyball, running in the ocean. So that's what you put together, and then that helps you to expand. Okay, so that's what you want to focus on. So that when we're done this class, what I recommend doing is try this 1 or 2 more times and try to
Okay.
include details and pay attention to structure. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for volunteering, Supergirl. Enjoy the rest of your day and Lagos.
Thank
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye for
Thank you
now.
both.
You're very welcome. All right. Let's give a thumbs up to Supergirl. Okay. A couple more people in the waiting room here. That was really good. All right. Let's try somebody else here. We've got quite a few newcomers, and I'm trying to give some opportunities for newcomers here as well. Reem Ilyas, why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself? You've got that beautiful black cat as your avatar.
Hi,
How are you, Reem?
Oh. I'm good. Actually, Reem is my sister. By accidentally, I log into my sister's account and I'm Irfana.
Okay, so what should I call you?
Irfana.
Irfana. Okay, Irfana. All right. Yeah, I've had a few of that recently of people using their family accounts. Okay, Irfana. Let's do this. Did you have a chance to prepare a little bit for this part too?
Actually, yes, I did
Awesome.
some
Awesome.
notes.
Good. I will start you off then. Here we go. So talk about a place you went to often as a child. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
In my childhood, I frequently visited a Cornish, which is near to my aunt's house, located in Sharjah. And people usually come there for spending their evenings, weekend outings with their kids, or for viewing the beautiful sunset it has. Actually, the Cornish has a long walkway which is built beautifully. Also, it has a cycling track and few cafeterias where you can enjoy your tea, coffee, and sandwiches. Also, it has common amenities such as the bathrooms, prayer rooms, etc., which everyone can use, which is like convenient for everyone. Also, we usually spend playing with the sand, water. Also, we love making the castles as a child. Once my uncle brought some kites for us. That's a beautiful memory I have when I remember about these days. And we had such an amazing day with the kites, and it was my first experience by flying the kites. And I really miss my childhood days because as an adult I can't run, and I can't run into the tides. So being an adult, I miss all those fun which I had with my cousins and my uncle.
Okay, your time is up. I will stop you there and we'll go on to part 3. Okay, that was good, Irfana. All right, that would be probably about a band 6.5 for sure. If it
Last
were...
time I got 6.5. You're exactly true.
Okay. Well, yeah, I've been doing this for a while, but because the question, like the examiners will mark your fluency, your grammatical range, accuracy. They have some very specific marking criteria, like they'll check box used present perfect, used conditional, used reported speech, used past perfect, accurately, etc. So they have these specific, but ultimately at the end, when they're thinking about it and they're adding up all the marks, they're thinking like, okay, is this fluent? Is this good? Is this very good? Is this expert? Or is it a band 5? Is it like a moderate or modest English, right? Or band 4, still progressing. So that's kind of how they're thinking. And so here I'm kind of thinking, well, it's between fluent and good. You're speaking fluently. You can put one idea after the next. Is it good? Not quite yet. Why? because it feels a little bit random. So it feels like you're not really completing your ideas and you're jumping from one idea to the next. It's like, okay, and we're at this. Sorry, did you say it's a Cornish or Cornish? The
Cornish, yeah.
Okay, can you explain to everybody what that is?
Cornish is like area which is built near the sea so that everyone can come and relax.
Yeah, we don't often use that word, especially here in Canada. So even for me, it's a rare word. I had to listen a couple times to it.
We usually use Arab, like Arab Emirates. So
Yeah, and I have heard the word before, but it's not common in Western English, and that's okay. It's okay to use words like that. If the examiner is not sure, they'll just check. That's why one of the reasons they record the speaking, because sometimes candidates will use words that are not as familiar, so it's okay. However, you do want to give details, right? So that part where you were talking about we were spending time with the sand, the water, we like making castles, it was too much too quickly. It just felt like I was jumping from one situation into the other situation. So one really important strategy and advice for this part too, for everybody, is always take a moment to kind of paint a clear picture with your words. So we often spent time near the water, at least a couple hours each day. We got into our bathing suits. We brought our beach buckets with us. We sat in the sand making sand castles. It was so memorable. We even had competitions on who could build the biggest sand castle and make it so that the water could go around the castle. It was a lot of fun. So spend a little bit of time to elaborate on that valuable experience and visual information. Okay?
okay,
All
that
right.
was that was a good feedback for me.
Okay.
Also, the spelling for Cornish is like Corni.
Can you spell it for me?
C
C.
Yeah, Corniche.
Yeah. Cornish. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, again, like I say, I
Thank you,
rarely use
Anthony.
that word. Thank you so much, Irfana. Have an awesome rest of the day and come back again. Okay, that was really good.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's give a big thumbs up to Reem's sister, Irfana. All right. Okay, everybody. I've kind of run out of time there, and I know there were a lot of volunteers. Beam Singh, Rana. The best way, students, to have really a good chance to interact with each other and with me in the speaking is to become a premium member at aehelp.com or glshelp.com, and then you get a lot more chances in the week. We'll have a reading class and a speaking class on Thursday and Friday for premium members. That's all through Zoom, so they move a little bit faster. Thank you so much. I did pay attention to others who were volunteering that are regular and premium students, so I'll be looking for you in tomorrow's class. Students, again, just to get your eyes on it, the academic IELTS website looks like this, and the general one looks like this. Click these red buttons, and then if you do that today, send me an email so I can send you the Zoom link for the premium class. Because I've already sent those. So if you didn't get them, I will make sure to send those to you. I saw some emails asking for them from some premium students, so I'll answer those today. Okay. All right, everybody. Keep up the good work. Keep practicing. Speak lots. Find speaking partners through the website and these live classes as well. And I will see premium students tomorrow and YouTube students next week on Tuesday. Bye for now, everybody. I'm Adrian, and I'm signing out from Victoria. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating and assisting our students. Have a lovely day.